Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 6 from Marvel Comics. So in the last issue, we had Moon Knight boxing Achilles Fairchild, and that issue ended with Achilles revealing that he is a Asgardian, and he ends up beating the hell out of Moon Knight, and that's how this issue starts. It starts with an unconscious Moon Knight floating through the void. Reminds me very much of that scene from Snatch where Brad Pitt gets punched in the boxing match and then he like falls through the water and he's kind of like going in and out of consciousness. That's basically what's going on here. And then that's when we cut to the rest of the Moon Knight gang, where Hunter's Moon is able to feel that there's something wrong with Mark. Before he can do anything about it, Khonshu actually takes over Hunter Moon's body, and Tigro kind of gets into a spat with him. She basically demands like, hey, where is Mark? And Khonshu is like upset that she's not treating him as the god that he is. And she just basically says, I don't care. I am a sister of the tiger god. I don't give a crap about you. We both want to know where Mark is, so where is he? And Mark goes through the void. He ends up seeing Earth. He's on the moon, and he's talking to Khonshu. Khonshu basically says that I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed that you've died, because you've died constantly, and I've constantly brought you back. I'm not upset with you that, like, you know, I think you're not going down the right path. Like, you're doing everything I want you to do. The problem, though, is the fact that you are my avatar, and you allowed an Asgardian to beat you. How do you think that makes me look? That my avatar got his butt kicked. And then we see the boxing ring where we see Achilles Fairchild standing over Moon Knight. And I'll say this, there is a new artist, and the art, it's not terrible art, it's just that the style is different than the previous art. So characters look a little bit off. Like Tigro looks fine. Moon Knight himself looks fine, like when he's wearing the costume. Khonshu looks fine, but for example, Achilles Fairchild, this is like the first part where I noticed that, okay, something looks really different. In the previous issue, Fairchild looks like a giant like bodybuilder. Like he's really buff and just muscular and thick. And here he looks way too thin. Like he's still muscular, but he looks a lot more thin than he did in the previous issue where he was like more bulky. He looks like he looks like either someone from a boy band or like a one of those like white rappers. That's kind of what he looks like. Like he looks off. He looks different. He looks too boyish, especially in the face compared to what he did in the previous issues. But Carver wants to kill Moon Knight. He's like, you know, Moon Knight's still alive. We should kill him now. And Fairchild is like, no, because if we kill him, Khonshu's just going to bring him back. However, if we were to lock him away somewhere, we were to stuff him somewhere, keep him locked, bury him somewhere, then Khonshu can keep reviving him as many times as he wants, but he won't be able to get away because he's stuck. So that's what we're going to do. So carry his body to my trunk, and we're going to go find some place to lock him up forever. And so we go back to Khonshu talking to Moon Knight again. I already kind of went over that conversation. But he eventually says that your fate lies in Hunter Moon's hands. I've sent Hunter Moon where your location is. Like he'll be able to track you down. So do you have faith in your team to be able to save you in time? And this whole like buildup of suspense just completely gets shattered because the very next scene is Hunter Moon and the gang crashing into the car that's carrying Mark, and they're able to get him out. So that kind of just went nowhere. So yeah, they're able to get him. They take him back to the lair and basically just let him rest until he revives. And then we have him talking to Tigra. And here's another thing we'll point out once again about the art change, is that Mark looks completely different now. He looks like a mix between Dick Grayson and a very young Bruce Wayne. Actually, you know what? He looks like a mix between Dick Grayson and Terry from Batman Beyond. That would be like a better example. He just like something about him just looks really different than the previous issues. But yeah, we have a moment where the two of them have their lovers spat, which thankfully gets fixed up pretty quickly. I like the fact that Mark doesn't back down from his original decision. Like the first thing he does when he wakes up is he apologizes to her, but it's not for the whole Hank situation. He apologizes to her and the group for making a mistake. That he shouldn't have gone after Fairchild alone, and that he was angry and hurt. and that he just wanted to get his hands on Fairchild and kill him. And he still does, but his mistake was doing it alone rather than letting the group know. And then Tico's like, well, okay, what about Hank? And I like the fact that he doesn't back down from this. He was like, I couldn't tell you before we attacked the Black Spector. I already told you why, because if I had told you, then it would have been on your mind. You might have not been fully into the attack, and you could have gotten yourself killed. So I had two choices. Either I could have told you, have it be on your mind, and you could have gotten killed that night, or I can tell you later, even though I knew it would hurt you and even make you hate me. And so I went with the latter choice, and I still stand by that decision. And they end up making up and stuff. Yeah, I guess all's well that ends well in that regard. This issue was okay. It was mostly just a lot of talking. We didn't really get much action. The only action scene we really got was, it wasn't even a fight scene or anything like that. It was just basically Hunter Moon and the gang crashing into the car that's carrying Moon Knight. That was pretty much it. A lot of it was just talking, which is fine. As long as it's advancing the story, then I'm okay with a talk-heavy issue. The artwork, again, the artwork is fine. Like, the art itself is okay. It's just that the style is different to the point where it makes certain characters, specifically A.K.A. Fairchild and Marc, when he's not in his Moon Knight garb, when he's just regular Marc, it makes them look different than how they looked in previous issues. Especially A.K.A. A.K.A. looks a lot different. Yeah, I'm wondering how this arc is going to play out. I don't know if this is a mini-series or an ongoing series. As far as I know, we have up to issue 8. And it looks like issue 8 is still going to be dealing with A.K.A. and Carver. Or at least Carver for sure, because she's on the cover. So I wonder how long this little arc is going to go. And if once this arc is done, if that's the end of the series, or if we're going to keep going and just have another arc. I kind of hope it keeps going, because I actually don't mind the story that much. I enjoy it. There are moments where, like this issue itself would be one of the weakest issues, in my opinion. But even then, it wasn't terrible. Like, I still enjoyed reading it. It just wasn't as fun as previous issues, but it was still fine. Like, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. It was good. And for anyone who's like unfamiliar with my scores, 5 is average. And I tend to give a lot of stuff that I read nowadays, like anything between a 5 to a 7, just because there are a lot of comics out there that are like entertaining, but there's nothing really like amazing or great that I need you to go check out immediately. So yeah, a 6 out of 10 is a good ranking. It's literally good. This is a good issue. It's not great or anything like that, but it's good. So yeah, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but there you go. There's Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 6 from Marvel. Basically, we have the fallout from Marc versus A.K.A., as well as Marc and Tigra having their long-awaited chat. And now we have the gang back together again, and we're going to see where we go with the next issue. I hope that you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.